Hello and welcome to another episode of the AfroMattt podcast. I'm your host, AfroMattt, and I know that this episode is late. I'm recording this on my cell phone because I'm super sick. I woke up this morning, my throat feels like sandpaper, and I had to stick toilet paper up my nose to keep myself from, drowning in my own snot. It's bad. It's bad out here, but this episode is probably going to come out a couple days late, so I'm sorry, but thank you everyone for watching. Peace.
Alrighty, check one. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I think I probably already did the intro because this is myself pre-recorded. I know, this episode's late. I was really actually sick. I got really sick on Sunday. Saturday, I was like feeling a little bit of a twinge at the back of my throat. I don't even know if that's the word for it, but there was a little something. Sunday, woke up feeling dog shit. Monday, feeling even worse. Tuesday, recovery. It is Wednesday right now. We are back. We are on the mend. We are back to almost 100%. Although I don't know what 100% means for myself or the human body. I don't think I've felt 100% since maybe 7th grade, but that being said, let's get right into the podcast because it's a lot of the news has stacked up because it's late. When a lot of things happen, these episodes tend to go a little bit longer, so you guys get a little bit of a treat. Today is the 12th, or no, it is the 6th of 12. It's December. First episode in December. We're going into Christmas, so Merry Christmas. That being said, let's just get right on into the news here. Let's go. Oh shit. I finished a book, and I know I haven't done one of these in a while, but that's because I haven't been reading. But I did finish a book. It's called Child of God and it's not a religious book. Don't let the name fool you. It is far from it. But it's by Cormac McCarthy. Long story short, a man lives in the woods. He's like a wild, crazy man. Lives in the woods, comes out of the woods every now and then. He lives in like a little shack and kind of terrorizes the town. He gets accused of rape. He didn't actually rape her, but then in a future, down the line in the book, he ends up doing a lot of that. So it's sort of, and I mean, with dead people, he finds dead people and brings them to his cabin. They're already dead when he finds them, I think. Yeah. When he finds them, they're already dead, and he's like, "Oh well, I want this." So he kind of crawls, takes it back. So he kind of becomes like a caveman towards the end. So it's like, you see the full, de-evolution of this man in his life. He goes from, and he's kind of just has bad circumstances. His dad dies, his mom dies. He's forced to like live in the woods by himself. Everyone in the town hates him. The sheriff hates him. He's had a bad life, and he sort of devolves into this creature of the night. He ends up living in a cave at the very end, and this is where he starts taking his victims. The climax is him. He goes to his childhood home where someone is living there, and he feels like his life was robbed, or at least this is what I think, is like that he thinks he deserves that, and he thinks he wants that. The guy's living at his house. He bought his house out from under him, forced him into the woods. He blames this guy for turning him into a monster. So he shoots him, chases him for a bit. The guy gets in his home, and then he turns the corner and he gets his arm blasted off by a shotgun. It's a really interesting story. It was a really quick read. I mean, granted, I read it in like 2 weeks, but that's because I didn't do much reading. I haven't been doing much reading. But overall, it's a really interesting book. I mean, if it's a little gruesome, if you can handle it, read it. It's Cormac McCarthy, so it's like beautifully written. So if you're worried about, if you want something really poetic, and this is what I like about all of his stories, is there's like every word is chosen with precision, and you can tell that he's a real master of the craft of English and writing. So that and you know, there's so much to be appreciated about that, is that he takes it really serious. He's not, you know, some like Sarah J. Maas who's pumping out a billion books, but she doesn't really, like, her books are a billion words long because she doesn't really care about the placement of every word. That's what I like about Cormac McCarthy. I'm not gonna go on a rant about Cormac McCarthy, but I like him because you can tell that he's a master. It's the difference between like the beautiful brushstrokes of Leonardo da Vinci, and it's like the Mona Lisa, which is a boring painting. The Mona Lisa is a boring painting, right? It's intricate. You can respect the beauty, but there's not a lot going on. Versus someone who you know, paints a comic book. Wow, I mean, that's sick. Spider-Man's doing he's doing a flip. You can see it, but it's just they're both elite artists at what they do. You know, right? Whatever. Sarah J. Maas is great at what she does, which is like tell fast, exciting, gripping stories. Cormac McCarthy is a master of the English language. If you want to witness a master doing things and creating sentences and bringing you into this world in such a small, short, like every sentence feels deliberate. You know, that's like, I suggest picking up, if you're interested in picking up Cormac McCarthy, start with No Country for Old Men, then go to The Road, or start with The Road. I started with The Road. The Road is super great. Cormac McCarthy, one of the best authors of all time. Unfortunately, he has passed, so all the books are out there that will ever be out there from Cormac McCarthy. So start reading now, and you won't regret it. That being said, let's just get right into the news. I promise I wasn't going to go on a Cormac McCarthy rant. He's just too good. He's just that guy. He is the GOAT. The GOAT. My whole shelf right here is filled with Cormac McCarthy. I've got The Road. I've got Blood Meridian. Blood Meridian. Some people say Blood Meridian is the single best book, American literature ever written. So, I mean, take that with what you will. Suttree, I haven't read that. That one's a little bit bigger, and I'm kind of scared. I'm kind of scared to read that one. Not because it's violent or anything. Blood Meridian is probably his most violent one, but it's just dense. And Cormac McCarthy, a book that big by Cormac McCarthy is terrifying. No Country for Old Men, fantastic. The Passenger and Stella Maris, I'm thinking about rereading those because I don't think I truly appreciated them on my first read. My reviews are probably somewhere in the beginning of the year, like maybe a March podcast. I don't know. Okay, let's get into the news. Can we take a moment of silence for Henry Kissinger? Henry Kissinger has unfortunately died. He was a U.S. Secretary of State and National Security Advisor. Henry Kissinger died last Wednesday at 100 years old. Kissinger is perhaps most notable for his work during the Nixon administration, when he helped Nixon prolong Vietnam and expand it to Cambodia and Laos. So this man, this noble man, he expanded the amount of time that we were in Vietnam and then brought us into Cambodia and Laos. So this man loves war, and he is most certainly, if there is a hell, he might be the deepest, darkest depth of whatever that is. His influence was certainly not limited to the Nixon years. He served as an official capacity in the Ford administration and more informal roles during Reagan and Bush years as well. So yeah, this is the man who's responsible for 90% of the wars during the 20th century. As a Harvard-educated political scientist, which makes, what is a political scientist, first off? Kissinger was employed to provide gravitas and legitimacy for a number of the U.S. wars and interventions. I love interventions. I love that word. We're going to intervene and make sure things are going smoothly. in these countries, most of which ended in bloodbaths for the ordinary people of those countries. Kissinger claimed to be improving. Kissinger likely had most freedom to inflict damage under Nixon, and thus his greatest crimes were committed in the Vietnam. Spencer Ackerman this week effectively sums up much of Kissinger's worst deeds. The Yale University historian Greg Granin, author of the biography Kissinger's Shadow, estimate that Kissinger's actions from 1969 through 1976, a period of 8 brief years when Kissinger made Richard Nixon's and Gerald Ford's foreign policy as National Security Advisor and Secretary of State, meant the end between 3 and holy shit. This man is directly responsible for killing 3 to 4 million people. Kissinger has Hitler stats. So yeah. So this guy, I want to take a moment of silence to, if your last name is Kissinger, kill yourself. Is that going to get me taken off of YouTube? I mean, this guy's a scumbag. I'd change my last name ASAP, unless it meant I get into Harvard. In that case, I'm an alumni. My dad, he blew up people. He was responsible. He dropped napalm on, the trees in Vietnam. Henry Kissinger. Honestly, that name goes so hard, though. Henry Kissinger. It just sounds so sick. But, I mean, Christ. If you're related to that guy, that's when I start believing in generational guilt. When someone's responsible for that much shit, generational guilt. Like, you should feel bad for having his blood. At a certain point, that you should feel bad for having his blood. Jesus Christ. Did he have any kids? Let's look up Henry Kissinger's family. Let's see. Henry Kissinger kids. He was 100 years old, so those kids might be dead. Let's see. Did Henry Kissinger have children? Yes, he did. Henry Kissinger and David Kissinger at the graduation in Concord Academy, Massachusetts. So yeah, he did have a kid. He had 2 children. I wonder what his kids are up to now. What do you think the Kissinger family's up to now? Now that they can't, God, that must be awkward. In class, you learn about history, Vietnam War. Hey, Chad Kissinger, didn't your grandpa start this shit? Like when you go to that's like the craziest thing about going to a Ivy League school is that people in your class might be directly responsible for some of the history that you're actually talking about in like history classes. Like you might actually have like the great grandson of, Lee Harvey Oswald in your class, just coincidentally. All right, let's continue with the news. AI threatens to automate away the clergy. So this was something that I never thought was going to be replaced by AI, which was the church. The church is being automated by AI. Oh, and your first question might be, well, Matt, if AI is teaching kids about, if AI is replacing pastors and stuff, then who's going to sodomize all these kids? And that is a legitimate question. Let's read on. The impact of AI on UK jobs and training was published yesterday in an attempt to quantify the ramifications of the Wonder Tech, the Wunda Tech, for the professional realm. The research takes a method developed by Felton et al. In the States and applies it to the British context, at the outcome being an AI occupation exposure score. The AIOE, which is the Artificial Intelligence Occupational Exposure, which is like, I guess, the the propensity for your job to be replaced, it's a number applied to your job for its likelihood to be replaced by a robot, is my understanding. It allows jobs to be ranked to show which jobs are more and less likely to be impacted by advances in AI based on the abilities required to perform the job. Oh, I see. So they probably just ran these numbers and they found that ChatGPT garnered headlines earlier this year with 300 churchgoers attended a service held by OpenAI's LLM in Germany. Huh. The jobs ranked above the clergy start with telephone salespersons, my job, through solicitors, psychologists, further. Psychologists and like therapists, I think therapists might be on the very top of the easiestly most automated job. I don't think they actually want to help you. And I'm going to go on a little rant here about therapists because I don't trust them. First off, I don't trust therapists. I don't think that they actually are saying anything helpful. You pay them money, and like when I give you money, I expect to be fixed. I want you to help. If I have a problem, I don't want you to just sit there and ask me how I feel about it. Because I'm going to be honest, it's going to be rage. Most of the it's going to be rage and frustration. And you're going to ask me, and I'm going to start saying, I'm frustrated at you. And you're going to say, how do you feel about it? I'm going to be like, I want to choke you right now. I don't have anger issues. Look, I don't. I'm a jolly man. Look, I'm wearing my Christmas pants, my Lana Del Rey t-shirt. I'm a happy, jolly man. But when it comes to therapists, when they just smile and nod, I'm like, I want some breakthroughs here. Tell me I was touched as a child. Give me some excuses here. I want some action, right? I'm not paying you to sit there. And he's always like looking up at that's our time. What do you mean that's our time? We didn't. We sat here forever. One time I went to I'll tell you this. One time after my grandma died, we all went to therapy. Whatever. I went to therapy, but like he had, and I may have talked about this therapist, but I would sit down and every time I see him, I imagine like a Simpsons character because he literally looked like a Simpsons character. He was like he's a round Simpson character. So I sit down in front of like, Homer. No, it was like Barney, right? From The Simpsons. Hi, Matt. Hi, welcome to therapy. Barney, that guy, not the big purple guy, Barney from The Simpsons. You know him. If you know him, you know him. So I sit down, except bald, well, short hair, maybe balding. I think balding in the middle, like around the top, the dome, right? I sit down and then he literally just tells me, he's like, so what's your plans for the future? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to go to college. And he's like, he's like, why do you feel like that? I'm like, because college is expensive. And he's like, oh yeah, I spent so much. And then he would go on these tangents about him. Like, I don't want to hear about you, dude. I want you to tell me what to do. Tell me what to do. And he would be like, yeah, he's like, yeah, I went to school. I took a gap year. I was just trying to find myself. It was the 70s, so we were experimenting with drugs. It was a great time. And then he's like, so do you have any hobbies or whatever? And I'm like, I have a YouTube channel. And he's like, oh, my son has a YouTube channel. You should check him out. He does guitar covers. I wanted to leave this place. And when I'm telling you this, I am not kidding. He told me his son does guitar covers and to check him out on YouTube. He said we might be able to collab. He's like, oh, you and my son might be able to collab. I don't care about your son. I don't care. Tell me what to do and what to think. Thank you. Thank you. I'm outsourcing my thinking. I'm outsourcing my introspection. I want you to be my introspection because I don't want to. I want to have one of those moments where I like relive, like in The Master. I just recently watched this movie at work, The Master, where I sit down on a recliner and he's like, okay, now what do you hear? And I'm like, I'm walking through the kitchen. What do you see? I'm like, oh, I see my old pastor. And he's like, okay, what's happening? And I'm like walking through this memory and he's like, okay, now what's happening? I'm like, the pastor, he's touching me on the butt. I want one of those moments. He's like, I want a breakthrough moment to figure out what's wrong with me. But and this is something AI might be able to help with more than what's currently happening, which is nothing. The occupations most exposed to AI include more professional occupations, particularly those associated with more clerical work and across finance, law, business, managerial roles. When do you think the first person will represent themselves in court using an AI? Because I think that's possible. Like, I was talking with my girlfriend. I'm like, if you ever got into like an accident or something and you went to court with them, you could just type into ChatGPT and be like, um, ChatGPT, write me a defense for a traffic collision using modern, what is it called? Uh, like, past whatever clauses, that shit, lawyer shit. I would literally just tell it, like, write me a legal defense in legalese for the stand using citations from, whatever California code, right? You go up to the stand and you're like, hey, yo, your honor, I'm sorry for the things I've done. That's a callback to like 4 episodes ago, but it's literally called To My Mama, I'm Sorry. Go check it out. But um, go up to the and say, my honor, your honor, this was written by ChatGPT using all the legal whatever you guys need. I'm just gonna read it. You guys, do your thing. I honestly think that might pass. It just takes one person to be brave enough to do it and risk their freedom, which is good luck. Yeah, so clergy gonna be automized by AI. Oh, this is interesting. What is this? Children are retarded. Smartphones dumbing down teens. OECD finds unprecedented decline in math reading skills of kids globally. So this is the whole thing. I talked about this a couple episodes in the episode called "iPad Kids Are Ruining America" or something like that. About this new breed of child who I think it's an innate sense of nihilism where they realize through us older people and through the people around them talking, their own teachers talking, no one can afford anything. Everyone's life is dog shit. The only and this is what they and this is and you cannot blame them for coming to this conclusion. The only way out of poverty is becoming famous on TikTok. It's true. It is true. Becoming famous in some form or another, maybe not TikTok, maybe you have, your YouTube channel go viral or something. But these kids are they realize the only way, there's no working to get out of whatever hellhole you're born into. You can't work your way out of it. You're born rich and you become rich, right? And you stay rich. You're born poor and you stay poor. That's how a lot of these people, and it's a built-in nihilism that builds in these children. So these children, their only goal in life is to become famous, to become lucky. And the only way to do that is to be on TikTok, posting TikToks. These are the ways, right? Doing the newest trends, dancing, right? These are the ways. It's it and that bites into math time, that bites into reading time, that bites into socializing. These are things that are going to be on the decline when those things no longer matter. They do not matter anymore. Yes, you need math if you're going to become an engineer, but who's going to become an engineer? There are 5 people I know ever who have become engineers. Actually, I know like 12 people right now with engineer degrees, and they all work at Target. Not really. No, I think 3 of them are like, I do know this kid named Ben, and he's like a hyper genius. Does not count. I think he like works for Amazon Tech or something like that. Does not count. He got a full ride to Vanderbilt. One of those kids who's just a freak genius. He skipped like 4 grades. He's a really cool dude. Good at card game. Pretty much good. One of those people that are good at everything. That does not count, right? What are you going to do with what is a normal person going to do? There's so much, I don't know. I truly think it's a built-in nihilism. Let's read this article. In its most recent assessment, and you can tell parents this too. You can literally tell parents, and they're like, why aren't you working in class? And it's like, dude, and you look your parent dead in the face. If you're a kid listening to this, look your parent dead in the face next time they ask why you aren't trying and tell, look, grades mean nothing. I don't want to, literally, who's going to pay for my college? First off, I'm not paying for my college. Colleges might not even be a thing. There's like 14 colleges that got canceled, like 4 colleges this week, or like this is their last. I didn't even know that could happen. Colleges just go out of business. In its most recent assessment of global learning standards, the Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development stated on Tuesday that the COVID school closures are only partially to blame for the unprecedented decline in the reading and math proficiencies in teenagers in dozens of countries. Based in Paris, that's where they are based. They're based in Paris, reported that since it started testing the reading, math, and science proficiency of 15-year-olds every 3 years, and starting in 2000, it witnessed some of the sharpest declines in performance of all time. The 2-hour test was taken by nearly 700,000 youths in 38 members that were mostly development countries, 44 non-members. Last year was the most recent study, which were being closely watched by policymakers as the largest blah, 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 blah. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Compared to when the tests were last conducted in 2018, reading performance fell by 10 points on average, 15 points by average on mathematics, and the equivalent to 3/4 worth of learning. 3/4 of a year's worth of learning. Isn't that interesting? Wow. COVID probably played some role in this, not to overrate it. First off, how are you going to learn sitting at home? I don't think I've ever. Yeah, I mean, anytime in school when I was a kid, anytime there was a school day, a snow day, and they gave us homework, that homework never got done. I think 0% got done. I honestly barely did any homework. I did all my homework in class before the teacher picked it up, like in that class, like just scribbling it down. Like, well, what do you get for this? Can I show you? Can I see your work? Scrambling. That's the rush. That's the rush you want. I lived for that rush. I lived rush to rush. I would go back to back math class, geometry, calculus, whatever, back to back, rush, finishing the homework in the class prior to it, finishing my geometry homework in my reading class, finishing my calculus homework in my geometry class, just waterfalling my homeworks. That's how you do it. Okay, let's continue on. I'm tired of AI, and kids are retarded, and a major reason, and this is, you can kind of track it. Whatever's interesting to kids is a great tell for the kind of person, the kind of people that they're going to become. When I was a kid, the funniest thing on YouTube was ASDF videos or ASDF movies. This is the guy with the, and this was kind of when, this is 15 years ago. I was 10, just about 10. I was like 9. And these videos came out by Tomska. And it's kind of like a funny, oh, it's so random. This video came out 15 years ago, 70 million views. Keep that in mind.
Your nose. Look out, he's got a nose.
The cops break in. Look, he has a nose. Breaks in. This is a joke with a structure as a setup. Oops, got your nose. Punchline. Cop breaks in and kills the dad for stealing the kid's nose. And these skits were really funny. We would die laughing at these.
You gotta help me, man. My tie is evil and it's gonna kill me. Please don't hurt me. Hello.
I mean, that's classic. That's an evil tie.
Parking meter? Hello.
The parking meter response. And it's like, you kind of just go through these.
Yum.
He cuts into the pie. Look, he's going for a piece of cake. He cuts into the cake, and the cake is screaming for its life.
Why would you do this? I have a wife and family. The pain. It's unbearable. What have I done?
So they made like a ton of this. Oh, and then the cake goes to the edge of the table to kill itself. I mean, it's fun. These are fun. Now, compare this to the recent most popular YouTube video on the planet.
What?
This is, may I introduce you to Skibidi Toilet, which has been out for 6 months and has 33 million views in 6 months.
What the heck is going on
This is it's a terrifying face coming out of a toilet and singing. Mostly gibberish. Not English. It's not Swedish. This is a made up retard language.
What the heck is going on YouTube?
So
What the heck is going on
So I mean, yeah, this is what this is.
What the heck?
This is it. This is it, guys. This is where the buck stops here. We're not getting better. It doesn't go up from here, guys. We are on a strong, steady decline. And I'm honestly, I'm all for declines. I've been on decline since birth, really, to be honest. I've only... Shit, am I getting a... I have to pick someone up soon. Okay. But I mean, Skibidi Toilet... I saw a story on TikTok of someone, they said they were at a fancy restaurant. This other family was there. Their kids were screaming, being annoying, like Chuck E. Cheese kids running around, couldn't sit still in their chair, and the parent told their nanny who was with them to get the iPads out of the iPad box. So they take the iPads out of this, I guess, like a charging case backpack that they carry with them. They deploy the iPads to the kids, and then the kids start chanting Skibidi Toilet, that song that I just played, and then playing it on the iPads in the fancy restaurant. So, and that's the only way you can, what I just played is the only way that you can get kids to behave themselves, is by melting any connection, like any neuron connections that they had built up from reading or, socializing, are slowly electrified, and you're building new neural pathways to reward a 2-second Skibidi toilet clip. And when you give your kid an iPad, I've and I will say I'm guilty of this, but anytime I see a kid with an iPad, I'm always curious of what they're looking at. So like if I'm in, Goodwill or something, I see a kid on an iPad or their mom's iPhone, I want to know what you're watching. And it's always the most horrific shit. I'm not talking bloody, not talking gory. Honestly, that would be better. Watch Breaking Bad. Give your kid the iPad and let them watch Breaking Bad. It is infinitely better than anything. I'm watching them watch someone like just crush a truck. Like they're just picking up a truck and pulling it up and then just like dropping it. And then everyone, whoa, my God. And then they do it again and they lift it up and they crush it. It's like the video is called like dropping a truck. I drop a $1,200 truck. I spent $100,000 on a truck and I'm going to drop it on a bus. I'm going to drop this bus. Let's play Drop That Bus. The only thing that happens is they drop a bus. Right? These are the kinds of videos that are happening. We're not even that far away from Idiocracy, where it's like, what's the movie? What's the show that they have in Idiocracy? I feel like it's like, Where's My Pants? Honey, where's my pants? Idiocracy. I'll find this. Here it is. I found it. Next on the Violence Channel. This is while the world's ending or whatever. There's like a flash flood and.
Next on the Violence Channel, an all-new AfroMattt balls.
Next, a brand new Ouch My Balls. This is the movie he's watching, and he's eating through a feeding tube.
Huh?
It's just the dude falling over and over again on his balls. Oh, this is when he comes out of the freezing capsule in the future. It's a great. He's not even eating popcorn. He's just eating a tub of lard.
Where's Officer Collins?
Shut up!
Are we on base?
I'll base your ass on my fist. In your face, ass. Shut up.
I'm sorry, it's just, where am I?
Shut up! I told you already.
I mean, he's sitting on the toilet while watching Ow My Balls.
Yeah! Well, shut up!
I mean, it's a great movie. I really do love that movie. Next on the Violence Channel, Ow My Balls. New episode of Ow My Balls. I mean, that's where we're headed. I hope you realize, and I hope you're ready. Because I think being ready is more important than, realizing that it's going to happen. Because you have to be ready for what. Because the first day that you turn on the TV and you realize that they're actually playing Ow My Balls, you're going to have a bit of a breakdown. You've got to start setting it in now. Start realizing it now that it's going to, not only is it a possibility, it is an inevitability. It is going to happen. So you have to start setting it in, dealing with it, walk through those 5 stages of grief. So when it comes and you turn on the TV and the first thing that pops up on Netflix is Ow My Balls, you're not in a mental breakdown. You are accepting it. Let me show you something recently that happened on Hulu. Recently, I received an advertisement for a show called let's see. What is that goddamn show called? Okay, let me show you what. So this is Hulu. So this is a new episode series on Hulu. Now, guys, this is sad. What this is. This is the new show called Faraway Downs or Faraway Downs, which is funny. But yeah, I'll just let it play.
In a faraway land. This place is
So
so barren.
remember these
I
shots.
can't understand
So
what people...
they're driving. This stars Nicole Kidman and Hugh Jackman. They look very young. They're driving over the
You
desert.
see now, do you?
There she is. Faraway Downs.
Faraway Downs.
Welcome to Australia.
There's Hugh
This should be
Jackman
interesting.
in Australia.
Adventure, isn't it?
Not saying it's for everyone.
And now let's watch the trailer for Australia, the movie. So now, let's see, Australia movie trailer. This is how lazy Hulu is. This is how lazy Hulu is. Hulu has taken the movie Australia and chopped it up into episodes and retitled it Faraway Downs.
You keep your eyes on the road.
This one's romance. The other one is framed more as a
They keep
adventure.
Out of my life, and I keep out of theirs.
I'll keep out of this.
Just because it is doesn't mean it should be.
See, isn't this fun? This is the exact same movie that they've chopped up. And when I saw this on Hulu, I thought to myself, that movie looks very, very familiar. And then I looked it up, and yes, Hulu did indeed take a movie and chop it into an 8-part series and present it as a brand new TV show. I saw an ad for it, and I'm like, why are they presenting this movie? This movie came out in 2008. The companies, and what I'm trying to get across is that the companies that, run this shit, they think that you're so retarded that they will literally just start they'll buy the tape of The Office, rewrap it up, and reclip it, whatever, put it out as a mystery film about who's banging Pam, right? That'll be the name. Who's banging Pam? Everyone's really like, oh, whoa, they got all the actors together for a brand new season. Who's banging Pam? Why do all these actors look young? And why is all the dialogue completely the same? Let's wash our brains out real quick with a quick Skibidi toilet.
What the heck is going on you?
This goes hard. You see that? Make the stank face. That goes hard.
What the heck?
I love that, huh? Isn't that fun? Isn't it fun to have something that you can play and instantly forget your last 15 minutes of life? Just kind of, it's a clean slate. It's like that picture it's like that little pen that they bring up in MIB, Men in Black. Snap, you forget everything that happened in the last 2 hours. Skibidi. What did I just talk about? It was Faraway Downs? Was it Australia? What was before that? I don't know. I honestly do not know what was before that. I think I was talking about AI. Kids being molested? No. It was therapists. Was it? What was before that? See, that was the book. So I'm pretty, I think that's what we've covered so far. Panera Bread claims another victim. Panera Bread's charged for death. And I don't know if I covered the first death, but I actually drank a lot of these charged lemonades, and I canceled my subscription after I heard that they were killing kids. There's one day when I almost got 2. I almost got 2 of these. I could have been killed by Panera Bread. I could have been a victim of Panera Bread's charged lemonade. I didn't know they had that much caffeine in them. And the whole thing that they're saying where they're like, guys, these have caffeine. It's a caffeinated beverage. I didn't realize that it had 800 milligrams of caffeine. Oh, no, my bad. 400. It has 400 milligrams of caffeine. I'm used to like a Red Bull, which has 80. Like an 8-ounce can of Red Bull has 80. That's 4 of them. Drinking a charged lemonade is 4 Red Bulls. And the weird thing is I would drink those charged lemonades and I would not get that jittery as if I drank like a coffee. And I don't know what was going on with them. I don't know if I was just overdosing on the caffeine and it was just like reverse working. Like it was like my heart rate was trying to like slow down. But this guy drank 2 of them. Dennis Brown in Florida drank 3 charged lemonades from the local Panera Bread. So, and this is how you can drink 3. They have a program where you pay them $14 a month and you can have as many free refills per day, per month, per year, per week, per month as you want. So you pay them. It's a monthly subscription. I got the first 3 months for free. So I was getting these charged lemonades every day, like clockwork, every day. I was having my girlfriend drop them off every day. Got to get those charged lemonades. I was addicted to this shit. I didn't realize it's because I have 400 milligrams of caffeine. So this kid probably has got the free discount. They taste great, which is bad because they're addicting. So it's like a lemonade. It's sweet, it's sour, it's a little bit sweet, a little bit sour, tart, and apparently 400 milligrams of caffeine. So this kid drank 3 of them on October 9th and suffered a fatal cardiac arrest on his way home. Dude, what if it was actually Panera Bread charged lemonades killing all of these athletes instead of the COVID vaccine? What if that was the true reason these people were going into cardiac arrest? Was those Panera Breads? Brown, age 46, had an unspecified chromosomal deficiency disorder. Oh, that's sad. This just got a lot more sad. He lived independently, frequently shopping at Panera Bread after his shifts at a supermarket. The legal complaint says because he had a high blood pressure, he did not consume energy drinks. So, I mean, look, this guy probably didn't even realize that they were energy drinks. Charged lemonade. When I'm thinking charged lemonade, I'm thinking a squirt of energy. I'm not thinking that it's 2 monsters chugging 2 monsters back to back. Panera, you need to and I'm actually kind of mad because Panera just took this off their shelves. I went to the Panera recently. I mean, granted, it was to get one of these, but I want them to bring it back. You don't have to bring it back at the full power. Don't bring it back at full power. That's dangerous. Bring it back at 80 milligrams. I just want some nice lemonade. And what I would do is I would fill mine up with half lemonade and just top it off with the charged lemonade. That should be the norm. You don't need to start killing people. This is the second person. The first person was like this 19-year-old girl whose heart exploded after she drank like one of these. This is a vulnerable population that I think the community at large should help protect. And I feel like Panera failed to do that for Dennis. Yes. Justice for Dennis. Say his name. Say his name. Dennis. Dennis Brown. But goddamn, those charged lemonades are good. And they are good. And that's why I drank them. My sister still drinks them. I sent that screenshot that Dennis, I didn't send, I just said in the family group chat, I said a second person has been hit by Panera Bread with the emoji or with the picture of George Bush hearing about the second tower. And my sister said, good, more for me. So that's where we're at. Let's see. The end of the year stats are out for the housing market. Apparently 44% of all single family home purchases were by private equity firms in 2023. So that means BlackRock, Vanguard, 44. So almost one in every two homes were bought by a third, a person who will not live in it, but will rent it to someone for 4 times what it's worth and artificially inflate the price. Awesome. Good news. Move along. Let's go into TikTok time. TikTok time. Which music do I use for TikTok time? Do I get it right the first time? Nope. 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 There it is. I'm gonna get a charged lemonade after this. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm gonna die from charged lemonade. I'm gonna overdose on charged lemonade and just show that, just in front of Panera Bread. I'm just gonna start. I want to take it. I'm gonna scream at everyone working there. I'm like, watch me drink these. I'm just gonna push it onto the thing, fill it with charged lemonade, and just chug it all in one drink. I'm gonna put it there again, refill another glass, and they're gonna be like just staring at me, mouth agape. And they're gonna be like, no, sir, no. I'm gonna put it to my lips, pour a second one. I'm gonna go for a third one. And at this point, they're gonna be trying to pull away the cup. Stop! That'll kill you. Stop! Stop! You'll die. I think that alone would be good enough evidence. And I stopped and I'm like, well, I wasn't drinking any at all. I just wanted to see a reaction to me trying to kill myself. If it's not dangerous, why did you try to stop me from drinking 3 cups of lemonade in a row? All right, let's continue with TikTok time. I like this guy. This guy has a message for Chipotle. And I want to start with this because it's an important message for Chipotle. He's been on this guy, and also honestly, he got kind of famous for calling Chipotle out, which means a lot of people share his same sentiment for Chipotle. He is starting the just walk out of Chipotle movement. It is a movement because you can. His stance is you can and should walk out of Chipotle if you are not being serviced correctly. If they scoop and it's less than desirable, you can leave before you pay. That's the point of the window. You don't have to pay until the end.
Real hero at Chipotle tonight. I was in the middle of my burrito bowl order, and once again, they gypped me on the protein. What a disappointment. But I wasn't going to say anything about it because honestly, I've given up on that. Guy behind me also got skimped on his burrito bowl order. He ordered half chicken, half steak. They gave him more like a quarter scoop of each. Disappointing to say the least.
Yeah. And I've said this before, but the shake, if I see them doing the shake one more time, I'm going to kill them. I'm going to drive my car through the glass pane windows. And this is that's comedy, by the way. I'm not going to kill. I don't know if any freaks are listening out there that don't understand that's a joke. And then they're going to say, "Oh, what's funny about driving it?" It's funny because people die. Okay? That's the joke. Because I didn't get my burrito filled all the way. That's the joke. Okay? Now let's continue. If I see someone shake, and if you've ever been at Chipotle, you've seen this where they scoop and then they start vibrating. They shake like they have Tourette's. And then you see pieces start flying off. And you see more pieces until you're left with like 5 pieces, and then they just toss them in. They kind of just flip them into your bowl. You're like, try that one more time. You brandish your gun. you're open carry. You're open carrying into a Chipotle to get a full. That's the sad thing too, is it takes open carrying into a Chipotle in order to get a full meal. That's where we're at.
Except this guy did something I've never seen someone at Chipotle do before in the middle of an order. He continued with it. He got lettuce, sour cream, mild and medium, and hot salsa, as well as the vegetables. And then I saw him raise an eyebrow, and I imagined him thinking to himself, you know what? I'm not in the mood tonight to spend $15 to $18
which
on
is
another
absurd.
bowl of
15
inconsistency.
to 18 is
He
absurd.
turned around and he walked out of the Chipotle. I was shocked. I didn't even know that was a possibility. The people behind the counter were shocked. What are we to do? He showed you what you needed to do. You need to show some consistency. You need to get some proper scoopers so that everybody knows that they're getting the exact same amount of food every time they go into Chipotle. This guy is a hero. This guy is an example. This guy is the beginning of a movement. We should follow his footsteps, figuratively and literally, and walk out the door when we're not getting a proper portion. When I think of heroes, when I think of legends, I think of Amelia Earhart. I think of Corbin
Amelia Earhart also, she's not a hero. She just got lost.
Blue. I think of the guy that walked out of Chipotle when he didn't get a proper portion. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for showing us that there's something we can do. Because when we ask for more protein, they tell us that they're going to have to double it.
Yeah, and they charge more. They charge you for an extra scoop for what should have been a regular scoop.
Hey, Chipotle, I'm reading this new Christmas
So he's gone viral. So this is kind of his thing now.
story. I'm obsessed with it. It's called The Chipotle That Hated Its Customers. Have you heard of this one? No? All right, well, I want to read some of it for you and take notes. Chipotle hated their customers every day, every season. Now, please don't ask why. No one quite knows the reason. It could be their greed, loading up their stock price by not filling their bowls, but with just a few grains of rice. All the customers down in customer land once loved Chipotle, they ate hand in hand. But now the company that once brought love and cheer fills every customer walking in with anxiety and fear. I'll do chicken,
Very true.
please, asked little Mary Sue.
I'll
There's
do
4 little
chicken.
pieces, and if you think that won't do, I'll give you one more, but I'll charge you times 2. Chip,
Love that.
what is Mary Sue to do?
I like that he calls him Chip too. We're on a first name basis with Chipotle.
In this situation, because it's based off a true story. Let's see what she does. She looked at the server, and with all her might, she said, "No, I will not get skipped out tonight." And so she walked out, feeling defiant and tall, not paying for portions 2 sizes too small. Chip chop.
Chip chop. And I applaud this man because he's standing up for something he believes in, and I respect it. I respect him. I respect it. All right, now let's go on to some guru shit. I've played this man before. He's one of my favorite gurus.
Slaves worked.
He's one of my favorite gurus.
Slaves worked all the hours they were awake for their entire lives.
This guy has some of the craziest takes, by the way, on the planet. So he's telling you why you should be working harder.
In American history, in Egyptian history, in the rest of the world that had slaves, which is most of the world at some given point. I think, like, if they can do it, so can I. Now you're like, well, did they have a happy existence? Well, they didn't get to pick the work they did, but it means that you can work. That's if you have the cap behind you. You can work every hour of the day. I'm like, well, if you get to have the cheese and you get to eat the cheese the whole way you're going, then, I mean, there's the famous quote, the person who loves walking walks further than the person who loves the destination.
I love that. I love that. I love how it just starts with,
slave.
And this is something I can see my boss or someone sending me, unironically. Slaves worked every day.
Slaves worked all the hours they were awake for their entire lives. In American history, in Egyptian history,
So his main point is, because slaves do it, I'm going to do it. I'm going to be my own master, and I'm going to work myself like a slave. Look at those eyes, too. These are the eyes of a healthy man. All right, let's, this is fun. This is fun. I saw this video pop up too.
You asked for it, and here it is. The most affordable home in San Antonio, Texas. Let's check it out.
Also, look at this home. This home is a hallway. Probably like a 200 square foot home. It looks like Looks like they forgot the rest of the home, like when they were building.
All right, guys, so what we got here is a tiny home. You have a little breakfast nook here, and you have a full kitchen. You have a sink, dishwasher, stove, and you have a space for
a breakfast nook. Everything's a nook here.
All right, guys, so we're in the bedroom. It's small, but it's affordable.
Here's your shower nook. Here's your bedroom nook.
It's going to be a 2-story home. It's going to be over 600 square feet, 2 full baths, and it's going to have this loft area here.
I love this. Imagine living in a hallway. This is a hallway home. Who wants to host? Hey guys, I'm hosting Friendsgiving next year. You're chatting. You live in a hallway. Hey bro, you live in a hallway. San Antonio, Texas.
Would you
Christ.
live here for $1,000 a month? If so, call me, text me, or message me.
No. Looks like hell. I love those tiny homes though. I love the ones that they build out of shipping containers so you can pretend you're being trafficked. All right, let's finish this off with Young Thug's. This is Young Thug's lawyer. So this is Young Thug's lawyer giving him his defense. So I mean, and this takes a little bit of background knowledge, but Young Thug, I think he's on trial for racketeering and stuff like that. Cool shit, gangster shit, probably murder. And they're trying to use some of his songs and the name himself, Thug, against him in court. They're saying the man's name is Young Thug, right? So he must be a thug, and he prides himself on being a thug. The lawyer says, no. Thug actually stands for
truly humble under God. It was his pact that if he could ever make it as a musical artist and help his family, himself, and his many others out of this endless cycle of hopelessness, he would be
truly humble under God. Truly humble under God. That's what Thug stands for. And you might think that this guy's making a mockery of the court. No, in fact, he's not. And here's another lawyer defending YSL's lyrics. His name's Yak Gotti.
I'm Yak Gotti. I got bodies on bodies. Okay.
So that he's explaining the lyrics because these lyrics are trying to be used against him. He says, I got bodies on bodies.
He's rapping about sleeping with a bunch of women at the same time. Or maybe not. Maybe that's not it. Maybe he's rapping about when he was a high school football star over at Brady. And he was laying people out on the field. Bodies on bodies.
Bodies on bodies.
Fuck the police, fuck them in a high speed. It is a call out to NWA with their famous song, Fuck the Police. It is social commentary. I rep my life for real, for slimes you know I kill. Take it to trial.
Okay, well this is getting a little bit harder to defend. I rep my slimes for real, I kill. Take it to court. Okay, getting a little harder to defend. Let's see how the lawyer defends it.
I rep my life for real, for slimes you know I kill. Take it to trial.
Take it to trial.
I kill. Now I know I have said I killed it. I pray that when I walk out of here today and someone says, Doug, how'd you do today? I'm like, I killed it. I kill refers to doing a great job when you're rapping in the studio. I kill refers to making money for the label. Running from 12, then I jump through the fences. Is it running around his neighborhood at the age of 12? He had a friend named 12 when he was younger. Is it running with his friend named 12?
I mean, running from 12, what does that mean? That's metaphorically saying that he's running away from the age 12. He's becoming older. He is growing as a person. He also had a friend named 12, which he was running away from. And I think the whole reason, and TikTok the comments are not legal advice, but they were saying that his whole thing here is he's trying to make, and when someone is going to murder, you have to prove within a reasonable doubt. Right now, he's trying to give them reasonable doubt. Like any sort of doubt. No, it's beyond a shadow of a doubt. Like even a little slight doubt. And then that doubt's doubt. Like the slightest bit of doubt, you can't convict someone. So he's trying to give them the slightest bit of doubt for, like, there's so much burden of proof when someone's dead. You have to have so much proof, and it has to be like evidence and stuff like this. All they have is the lyrics. And obviously, I mean, this guy, he's truly humble under God. He's running from 12, the age, metaphorically. He's killing it. He's literally killing it. He reps his slimes for real. I think that he might get away with it. So we're going to keep an eye on Young Thug and Yak Gotti and see how they their murder trials go. All right, let's watch this last one here.
They stole 21 cars.
So this is a news lady talking to this guy about all these cars that got stolen, and he definitely knows something about the cars. And I'll just play it because it's so good.
They stole 21 cars. Can you believe that?
What? 21 cars? What? They could have gave me a car. 21 cars? What they gonna do? How they gonna drive 21
At
cars?
once.
Right. That's crazy. They have to be ashamed of themselves.
This guy's acted like he knows where they're at. This guy's saying 21 cars so many times. I think he knows that there's more than 21 cars.
I've been telling these folks, man, you need to get your life together. 21 cars? Where you gonna park all them cars at? Oh, these folks need to get themselves together out here. It's too hot to be driving 21 cars. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's too much gas money. How you gonna use all them cars? That's crazy. I hope they find them 21 cars though.
I hope they find those 21 cars. That's like if you get caught for murder and it's like you're being arrested for murder of 12 people. 12 people? They killed 12 people. They killed 12. I hope they find those 12 people. Those only those 12 people, right?
How you gonna use all them cars? That's crazy.
That's crazy, man.
21 cars though.
He knows exactly where they are. Oh man, that's good. All right. We'll watch one more video. This guy. This is a good one.
Oh, wake up at 5 a.m. and take a dirt shower in the. Oh, wake up at 5 a.m. and take a dirt shower in the coldest water you can find and cold plunge and meditate. No, I'm good. Okay, I'm not gonna do all that shit. That shit's retarded. I'm gonna hop on COD at 10:15 a.m. and rip some hardpoint in my Nicki Minaj skin that I did pay $10 for. Wake up and eat a primal meal. I'm good. I'm good.
I'm good.
Legal, okay? Fuck all that shit. I'm over it. I'm over it. Wake up at 5 a.m. to simulate the primal fear. Shut the fuck up. Suck my dick.
I love that guy so much. You got to take a cold plunge. You got to wake up at 4 a.m. and take a cold. No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm literally good. No, that shit's retarded. He literally said it best himself. That shit's retarded. I'm gonna wake up at 10 a.m. and play hardcore on Call of Duty. Yes, that's life. That's actually life. What he's describing is life. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, again, I'm sorry it's late. Stuff happens. Immune systems failed. I can't be perfectly good all the time. That being said, I love each and every one of you that's listening. Thank you for listening. If you liked the episode, please share with a friend. Comment below. Like, subscribe. Push the notifications. Whatever the fuck. Bye. Goodbye.